What's up, everyone? This is episode 16 of the Sit Down. We have a special guest today. His name is Joel. This is also a Joel.
I'm Joel.
Yeah. So let's get this thing started. Rohs, he's the organizer, or one of the organizers of Chesterfest, which is a music festival in Prince Albert. And we're gonna ask everything we can about the music festival, about the cancellation this year, which should be a shorter conversation, I guess. And
Like where it started.
yeah,
That's actually so if we
let's.
can just dive right into it, Joel,
Yeah.
how did you come
and that was it. By the way, we're throwing a festival, and it's these dates next year, and the venue's booked. So
next year? So you gave yourself
this-
a deadline.
yeah, I booked it like June 2018, the venue, and it was like we didn't even announce really. Like we didn't even start planning until late that summer, and yeah.
But did you have at least a conversation with Kayana before you booked that, or?
The venue, no, I always kind of talked about like, oh yeah, I want to do a festival one day. Oh yeah, by the way, this one day is actually next year, and it's July 6th. So
Wow.
it was kind of like we talked about it lots, and then we kind of talked about the idea of the couches. Someone posted on Facebook about how wouldn't be awesome if you put a bunch of couches in the field for a music festival and called it Coachella. We didn't do that for legal reasons, obviously, the name. But I thought it was a pretty sweet idea. There's also a Family Guy clip about that joke about Coachella as well. If you want to search it up.
Yeah, you would get in trouble if
Yeah,
if you use that name then.
Yeah, so I mean, we always really love like old school couches. I got one
Behind you.
behind
Yep.
me here.
Yeah.
A beauty. We got a bunch upstairs in the living room. Like we've never bought new furniture. We just got old tacky stuff on Kijiji or whatever.
All that free stuff, right?
Yeah, it's cheap and expensive, and I'm broke, so I can't afford real furniture. But
Okay.
yeah,
So
it just kind of went from
you booked that date, and then what? You went like, oh shit, now we actually have to do this.
so. There's a couple other but basically we're like, oh yeah, I guess we'll do it, and then if we don't do it, we'll just cancel the reservation or cancel the booking on the venue. But another kind of key piece to this is like I've played with them before and we've booked them in PA before, but I always really wanted to get the Dead South back here, especially since they blew up with their huge YouTube hit video. I was like, we need to get them back here. There's people that love it, like one of the banjo players from PA.
Yeah.
So it was like kind of intertwined with that. Like I really, 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 really want the Dead South to play here, even if that means putting on a festival to make it happen. So that was also part of like
Right.
the kicker was doing it for that. So
So you basically already had the Dead South in mind before you.
in mind, a lot of steps between that and actually confirming it, like a lot of work. And especially when it turns out like you book a 1-day festival and the band you really, really, really want to book is like can't play that day, so we had to move it to the Friday. Hence why our festival was 2 days, was because the Dead South was unavailable on the Saturday, so we booked them on the Friday.
Ah.
I see.
Because yeah, usually,
So that,
usually
like,
festivals are like Saturday, Sunday. But so I was, when you announced it that it was a Friday and Saturday, I was like, why a Friday? I mean, it's not a bad thing, but usually it's a Saturday, Sunday.
No, yeah, I mean, part of that I guess was like with the venue, with the availability of the venue, and a lot of the logistics. Like, for example, if we did Sunday and we had to tear down on Monday, we'd have like
Right.
no volunteers to help us.
Yeah.
Right.
So like logistically, that worked out really good. Yeah, I don't know, and
So-
also like it gives you time to, like, for example, so we started Friday at like 5-6 p.m., but it gives you time in the day to load in and set all the stuff up,
Yeah.
kind of thing too.
Yeah, that's basically.
I know I've been a really big fan of doing stuff out there. Like, it's such a beautiful location.
Yeah, it is.
There's lots of, like, I mean, there's as far as outdoor venues go, there's not a whole lot of amenities, but there's a really nice deck. There's a really nice log cabin. There's tons of room for parking, tons of room for camping, tons of room for like the big field at the end of the yard. There is where we held our main stage. Like, there's so much room, super affordable, and the owners are super reasonable and super great to work with. They just loved our idea and loved to have us. So
Yeah,
we
and
couldn't have done it without them either. So
it's just outside of PA that helped too, I guess, with the, because how does that work with the legality of the what is it, noise laws
Like the
or
bylaw.
yeah. So there's still, like, so we were out of city limits technically in the RM of Buckland. So there's still some noise bylaws and some noise rule, but a little more flexibility in the sense that 45 minutes or an hour out of town.
Yeah, it's like
it's a 5-minute drive
Yeah.
at max.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, for those of you that don't know, Kinsman Park's like right inside Prince Albert.
Yeah.
Like almost center, and then Park Place is just, would you say, north of PA or kind of
Yeah,
northwest,
northwest.
right?
Northwest, yeah, just but hardly any, since it's only like
Yeah.
a 2-minute drive once you get off the bridge. So
Yeah.
Right. Awesome. So how, I'm really curious in when the booking the bands part, because how many were playing the total of the whole weekend?
I think like total like bands and artists last year, I want to say we had 27, 28.
Yeah.
So lots of slots to fit into 2 days. This year we're actually planning for a few more. Actually, I think we were a little less. I think we were 25 last year and we were 28 or 29 this year.
Right.
Huh.
So how's that process? Is it fairly difficult? Like, you got to deal with their managers and stuff, or do you just like
So
reach out to them privately?
probably 75% of the acts that we deal with are self-booked or self-promoted. Usually that's Saskatchewan based or Western Canada based. Smaller size acts, but even some bigger acts are self-booked. And even like Megan Nash, for example, like great artist out of Moose Jaw, she's still self-booked. She's not through a booking agency. And so like a lot of that, there's a lot of back and forth going. We also have to factor in like artist applications that people that apply to play to the festival online on our website, and the audition process too, along with the battle of bands we had this year. So there's lots of different sources for artists,
Right.
that we have to kind of manage.
Prospecting kind of thing.
I handle all the artist booking, inquiries, contracts, negotiating, all that stuff.
So when you book a
yeah.
band like, for example, Harlequin, because they were the headliners on Saturday, how does that work?
In their case, they're booking out of an agent with an agency out of British Columbia called Canadian Classic Rock. So they've got an agent.
Okay.
So yeah, they're at that level, like at that point, like we reached out to them, inquired about dates and artists, figuring out asking price or fee, and then for that case they Harlequin flew in. A lot of the guys are from Winnipeg or from BC. So they flew in. We were required to pick them up at the airport, drive them to the festival, drive them to the hotel as they needed, and then drive back.
Yep.
Yeah, we were the ones that brought him back to the hotel.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure you guys did some of that too. Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
And so lot of things like that people don't think of, like when 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 they think about booking a band for a festival, like we have to supply the ground transportation, they call it. Hospitality, food, and beverages and stuff like that, for the green room when they get here. It's not like they're just going to walk into Safeway and get some snacks before they go to the festival.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, we had all of that stuff. So there's a lot of working parts within that artist section.
Yeah.
Production aspects and the hospitality, all that stuff, the booking and the scheduling and all that stuff is just like, yeah, lots going on. With the smaller stuff, like with the smaller bands, with the local bands that we booked, because we really wanted to make sure we booked lots of local bands, because we had like 75% of our acts last year were from Saskatchewan. So a lot of that stuff is a little easier. It's like, maybe the person or the
Initially too.
Yeah, we were gonna do. So we had the main stage in the field along with the like workshop stage. We had the lodge. We were also planning to do one on the deck as well, but we kind of figured we would combine those two since they were pretty close. With the after hours that was supposed to be on the deck and the workshop in the lodge, we could have just put them both in the lodge.
Right.
Yeah, so 2 stages, I guess, but a whole bunch of different aspects.
Yeah, that was cool. The only thing I had with the after party was that it was really late. I was tired, but Bombardo
Yeah,
was worth staying for.
Yeah, that's like a nice little kickoff, a nice little end of the night. People can go up the hill if they're still kicking around and go to the lodge and see a band inside. A little bit different atmosphere. It's not so much of a relaxed lounge type thing. It's more of a
give her shit party
stand
kind of thing.
and dance and
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. So going back to the planning stages, did you have any experience with a festival before, or was this okay? I want to do this, and I'll figure out how to do it.
Yeah, like you said, you mentioned you could tweak some things to have a pretty successful festival. So what kind of things did you find that you needed to tweak to do the show that you did?
I think without going into too much detail, and I mean, there's a lot of great festivals around. There's a lot of great small festivals. We knew kind of from the get go, like there's a lot of great. I work a lot with Pine Needle Mountain Biking Music Festival in Little Red, and I do some work with Street Fair as well. Both great events, different kind of scale. When coming for this, we like starting with Chesterfest. We knew we wanted to go for a little bit different, an event, the ticketed event, a higher price event, and some higher price acts as well.
Yeah.
But like I've volunteered at lots. I've played at lots of festivals. Yeah, like I've been to lots. So just kind of taking all that knowledge. I also volunteered with Borealis, which is a music festival that happened in town here 5-6 years ago, 2015, I think. Yeah, so just taking all those things and kind of determining like, how do we do to make this? And the big thing is because we didn't go in it with tons of cash in the pocket. We found some great sponsors that were willing to get on board, like you guys as well. And just kind of floated on that and some ticket sales. It wasn't like, so it was really important that we, kept prices reasonable so people would buy tickets, but also to keep the expenses down. So, we don't have this huge looming debt after if the festival doesn't go as planned.
Yeah.
That's the toughest part for sure. Cause people want to see Urban, but they don't realize that he costs, $2 million or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so the whole thing's a big juggling act to make it, feasible financially for the festival goers and for the organizers and everybody involved.
So how did you budget for that? Like, I'm assuming you didn't know up front what the asking price was for Vedette South, for Harlequin. So was that?
No, you learn real fast how those numbers come into check. But it started as a cheap thing, like I won't get into too much about how much we spend on all the things, but it starts as a, maybe we'll throw a festival and it'll cost $10,000 or $15,000 and you do one day and the next thing you're 2 days and you're like, wow, this budget is like way bigger than we
budget
had necessarily planned for. Yeah. So, but it's good. It all checked out really well. We had a great turnout and stuff. So that helped us lots.
Oh yeah. We definitely had a blast.
Yeah, it was fun.
We were already.
And it's
I think. Go ahead.
No. You're
Oh, I was gonna say, I think it was like 20 minutes after I had gotten there, and I was in the booth with Mark, and we were already talking about sponsoring for the next one and where we wanted to see billboards of Funky Moose records. Like, pretty much wherever there was a Canadian Tire sign, we were like, that should say Funky Moose, right?
And I
Yeah.
and I told you that
He-
too, huh?
huge shout out to Malcolm, by the way.
Yeah.
Malcolm from
Oh, for
Canadian
sure.
Tire here in town has been awesome at jumping on board and backing us and believing in what we're trying to do. So huge prop to him for
Definitely.
So
coming on board.
so getting sponsors, how did that go? Did you reach out to people, or did people
And
mostly
was
come
there
to
a
you?
lot of, not backlash, but just a lot of people thinking you're crazy and not want to be involved?
Yeah, so I think a little tough. Like, we put out a lot of paper copies of sponsored packages, emailed lots, called lots of places, and you get like a 10% reply rate,
Yeah.
and most of those replies are a no. But I think we did really well last year, and we did really well this year too, getting people on board. And I think people in PA, anyways, especially like business owners, but also general public that want to attend, a lot of them really want to see that it's a real thing and that it happens first.
Yeah.
Before committing to it or before going to it or before putting money into it as a sponsor or as an advertiser. So that was tough. And then unfortunately this year we kind of got cut short with the pandemic.
Right.
I mean, aside from the cancellation, but also like, times are tough and businesses don't have as much money to give to sponsor events and that kind of thing. But yeah, hopefully the second year next year, fingers crossed that we're going to go ahead with that. That it'll keep rolling, hopefully. So
Yeah. So how does that work
That-
for next
that-
year? Do you have the same lineup as you had planned this year, or did you talk to those artists? How did that go over?
yeah, like we're really trying to rebook all the same artists, and if we can, I feel like we had a really great lineup all set and ready to go. And also, like, lots of those artists are out of work this year.
Right.
So if they can hang on to that booking and stuff, it really helps them out too. So
For sure. Would
Works
you
for
be
both parties
like,
and-
can you toss some of those names out, like who you had booked in for this year that we might be able to see next year?
yeah, so I can't say for sure who's exactly playing next year because we don't have anything
On
signed,
paper,
sealed,
yeah.
and done. But some of the artists from this year that we'd like to get back or that we've announced already for this year, Bombargo, Megan Nash, Scenic Road to Alaska, One Bad Sun as well for the headliner for Friday night. A lot of Saskatchewan-based, Alberta-based talent.
Right, One Bad Son, that's
Kurt's band,
yeah. Kurt Dahl.
Yeah, they've
the lawyer drummer.
believe it or like, I'm big fan of those guys, but I don't think they've ever played PA in their
No.
14, 15 years.
Oh.
And the funny thing about that is, like, as a kid, well, not as a kid, I guess I'm 23 now. So yeah, like when I was 17, 18, they'd always comment or put posts on Facebook being like, where do you want us to play in Saskatchewan or Alberta? We'll come and play. And I was always like rooting for PA, like, yeah, come play Pabco. I couldn't even get into Pabco at the time. To play Pabco. Whatever, that kind of thing. So it's like, that was like a nice full circle bit where we could actually get them. So I really hope they can come next year. Like I said, no promises on any of that yet, but we'll know closer to fall.
Yeah.
Kind of who's gonna still be on the lineup. So
Who's your dream artist to get at your festival?
that's tough. If I was booking the artist for me, you know what I mean? If I was booking like for bands that I want to see, this would never fly. Not that I like bad music, but just like you really it's a different thing to book for the people rather than, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To like, you can't really say, oh, I don't like that band, because if there's 500 people that want to buy tickets to it and that like that band, your opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah, no,
Sorry.
exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, but now personally, if you were booking for you,
if I was booking for me, I really like Andy Schaaf. Andy Schaaf is great.
okay,
He also his like from Regina, his kind of vibe, music style fits the couch thing perfectly, I think. Not a super bumpin' partying act by any means, but he's a super great songwriter, super great band. he's up on the list. I mean, that like you said, like this is for me and not for
Yeah.
the festival. But
So why you mentioned like he's not a couch kind of thing, but like why couches? Where does that come from? The Coachella thing?
yeah, like it was literally off of like we had a bunch of old couches in our house. That was our living room furniture, and a friend of mine, Matthew Fokerson from Bombargo, actually posted saying, "Oh yeah, we should do this thing. That'd be funny." And then I kind of talked to him like, "Are you serious about doing this? Because if you're not serious, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it. Like I'll make it happen." Yeah, so that's literally where it came from. Was those couple of things. And like I said, also the kind of I've always wanted to put on a festival as well.
Right.
But yeah, it's something different. Like it's a lot of work. God, it's just like so much work to move all those things.
How many of them
and to source
were
them
there?
and all that stuff. What's that?
How many couches was there? Like there was that whole field was
100
filled.
It was good.
103.
Holy shit.
So keep in mind that's split between the main stage, backstage, the beer gardens, and the secondary stage up the hill as well. So they're kind of spread out a little bit. Most of them are in the main stage. But we kind of plotted out which couches we wanted where, how many we wanted to go where, marked them all, cleaned them all the things.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
And then a big bonfire after. No.
Are they in storage now?
Yeah. Right now, they're actually. We were grateful enough that Habitat for Humanity lent us some storage space over the winter, so they're stored there. We've also got some of the nicer pieces in a safer location inside of a storage unit, but we're gonna have to move them right away. Yeah, so we're looking for more storage. So they'll be moving at some point. So we'll have a
Right.
maybe when things calm down a little bit, we'll have a couch moving bee to get them all back into place. 'Cause it's a lot of truckloads. It's a lot of truckloads.
Yeah. So next year, are you going to have the same
think
amount
about-
or more?
I mean, I would like more. Is that feasible? Probably not. Like if you think about just like the amount of work, like I would love to get 150, 200, but that's a lot to deal with, and they don't all make it, if you know what I'm saying.
Right.
Some go to a better place called the Prince Albert landfill, unfortunately.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's a lot there. But like, for example, so moving 100 couches, like that seems like a lot, but like a Ron Lipchuk moving truck, who actually he gratefully donated the truck to help us move some couches. Like we took probably 10 of those full.
Wow.
How
those
big?
so
those
like-
are the cube vans, like the.
It's a 16 by 8 foot cube van,
Yeah.
by 8 foot tall.
Oh, nice.
So you could probably do it in one semi truckload. Lots.
But what
So-
fun is that?
I know. Yeah.
And so, how does it work with the organization? It's you, Kayana, and last year Julie, right? The three
Yeah,
main
Julie
organizers?
as well. So there's yeah. Those the three of us that are behind the organization. We've also got like kind of a smaller collective of other more committed volunteers, volunteer coordinator and an after hours coordinator and a few more things like that. Hospitality coordinator. Shout out to JJ. Thanks, JJ. We got a wicked backstage guy. Like this guy taught me in high school. I play in a band with him now, but JJ showed up for one shift, for a 4-hour shift in the green room, and literally stayed the entire weekend. And just like he's the bud giving high fives to all the bands, making sure they're all taken care of.
That
He
they're
was wicked.
happy, right?
But yeah, we've got a whole team of a bunch of people like that that were set in place to go this year, but hopefully next year they'll still be back on board with us. But yeah, it takes a lot of that and a lot of volunteer hours from parents and friends and yeah.
So, how many people were there in total?
Random.
Or like volunteers in the organization? How many people are we talking about?
I think with like people that work shifts at the festival, along with people that helped out or including us organizers, probably at 70,
Okay.
75.
Is that counting like paramedics and security?
No, that's a separate bit. Those are hired out.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah.
So what's the estimate of like people that you had in the crowd last year? Was there any way to keep count, or like, I guess you know your ticket sales, right?
Yeah. So I like all in artists, volunteers, like total attendance on each day. We're kind of looking at like 800 on the Friday, 650 on the Saturday.
Wow.
So pretty decent numbers. We got a little bit to grow. Like we got probably capacity of 1,000 people total.
800 on the
venue
Friday
anyways.
and less on Saturday?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. Because the Saturday was a full day and Friday was only from
The
5
Yeah.
o'clock.
Friday night.
Yep. And that's just I assume it's the Dead South.
Yeah, I guess.
People really wanted to come out to see them, and
Yeah, it was a good show.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Well, I wasn't there the Friday night, was I?
You
I
were
was
there
there
for
Saturday.
for Harlequin.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you were there Saturday.
But no, I don't
Not
know.
Friday.
What the hell.
No.
That's so much fun. I don't remember, man.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but it's we were excited. Yeah, like and I'm really looking forward to next year because we're always looking to make some changes and make some things better and stuff. So we're we're happy to add. We added on camping this year as well.
Oh, nice.
Out at Park Place for trailers and some temps. Yeah, because like a lot of people, it's close. Don't get me like it's close to town, but you can call a cab and it's you can get a cab ride from Park Place to your house for $20 or whatever. It doesn't cost anything, but lots of people are like, oh yeah, you should do camping and then we can just crash here and
And party the whole weekend.
the full experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to that next year as well. In March we had like half of our camping spots already gone, so they're moving fast.
Wow,
so
yeah.
so I'm looking forward to that. And
Because that would be for those who know Park Place, that would be behind the stage, kind of where people were kind of parking, right?
yeah, there's some room out in the trees there that we were gonna put. I had the Google Maps out to calculate the square footage in the area to figure out how many camp spots and how many trailers we could fit in, and there's more room out there than you'd think. So I'm also not only am I the artist guy, I'm also the logistics and site planning guy.
Yeah. We noticed because you were running a lot.
Doing this.
Yeah. Well, we'd see you go by and Mark would be like, oh, there's Joel. And like, well, who's Joel? He's
Runway
he's the
traffic.
guy who put this together. It's like, oh, right on.
Oh, there he is again.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's Joel again.
Oh.
And like that was like some of that was like the things, the logistics and stuff was the things I was most worried about.
Okay, time for a break. We are at half an hour, so it's a good time for a break. We'll be back after this. This episode is brought to you by Kanto Audio. Kanto is a Canadian company that produces quality speakers and accessories like cables, TV, and speaker mounts. Their latest flagship model is the Kanto Tuk, named after the remote Canadian hamlet Tuktoyaktuk. The speakers feature AMT tweeters, 13cm aluminum woofers, 65 watts per channel, and a wide range of input methods like RCA for a CD player, Bluetooth for your phone, Toslink optical input for your TV, and built-in phono stage, so setting up your turntable is easy peasy. Connecting them to Kanto's sub-6 or sub-8 subwoofers complete the full range sound that anyone will enjoy. They come in two colors, matte black and matte white, and they're available at Funky Moose Records via fmr.fm/tuk. That is fmr.fm/TUK. We're back.
So, yeah, I was kind of hoping, like, we kind of touched on everything on how you came up with the idea, what the plan was, and what we're expecting for next year, sort of. But what I want to know the fun stuff, Joel. Like, I want to know the behind-the-scenes shit. I want to hear a juicy story,
Like the festival itself is fun, but
Yeah.
there's always the fun stories.
Yeah, I want the behind-the-scenes stuff.
Yeah, I got a lot of good ones. I'm just
Sifting
just
through.
in a more serious note, things were like so tight coming together, right? Like we barely gates were barely we barely were ready to open the gates at 5 p.m. on Friday. Everything was like super last minute. Like Thursday night until midnight, like Kiana is like screen printing the shirts in our spare bedroom.
Holy smoke.
Like so Kiana prints like all of our merch like all of our t-shirts, all of our stuff, all of our sweaters and stuff,
Yeah.
and does all the design. And we print it in our house actually. So yeah, she was printing that until like midnight the day before
Wow.
before the festival started, just to get it done.
So the
Super fresh,
so the ink was
very
still
fresh.
wet when you sold the shirts.
yeah, no, we not quite, but yes. But yeah, but so kind of a funny story. As I mentioned earlier, like as a festival organizer, in most of the times when artists are flying, or in our case especially, when an artist is flying into your festival to perform at your festival, you have to pick them up from the airport. Like I said, we did that with some volunteers, all that jazz. The real hiccup came in the story when we had to take. So Harlequin had a like an 8 a.m. or an 8:30 a.m. flight, so they had to leave the hotel in PA at 4 a.m. was the lobby call for the band and their sound guy. So Harlequin ends at 11:30. Great night. It's awesome. People go up to the lodge and they see Bombargo. It's super great. It's like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. We're kind of shutting things down. Everyone leaves and we're packing up. It's like 2:30 at this point. We're ready to lock up the thing. We're ready to lock up the lodge and go sleep, and then come back the next morning for to clean up and all that stuff.
Right.
We've got someone lined up already to take the van that Fresh Air provided us with, and pick up Harlequin and drive him to the airport and drive him back. It was all set. It's all good to go. And then 2:30 rolls around and we can't find the van keys. Someone is in charge of them.
Did you have the
I
van keys?
remember giving them to Julie.
Okay. I was gonna say we weren't gonna say names. So Julie got the keys. All good. She's in the pocket, and the band is paid, and the girls are like, oh yeah, let's have fun now. Like, we did all the work. Like, everything's done. The keys are safe. The money's locked up. All the stuff. They start doing some shots. Great. That's fine. Until we realize we can't find the van keys that were put in a safe spot.
Like, you couldn't
And
remember
this is like 3. No, like they knew where they put them, but someone had taken them.
Oh no!
Taking the van keys, and we're like, there was no one in here. And also, like, how else are we gonna get this band? It's like a band with gear. Like, we'd have to take 3 vehicles to get them to Saskatoon. So we can't find the keys, and everyone's freaking out. We're like, oh my god, let's check here, let's check here, let's check here. Are you sure you put them there? Where could they go? Who could have taken them?
And time's ticking.
And then finally, at like my cousin is also there, and he's helping out, and he's helping everyone close down, and he's also doing shots. It's a great time. Everyone's having a great time. First and foremost. And then finally we're like, okay, let's call so and so cousin and like Dane. Let's like call Dane. We used to call him Danger Dane as a kid. Anyways, so we called Danger Dane, and we're like, he's like, so he like answered. He doesn't answer. He's asleep at the hotel. This is like 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, what the heck? Like, crap. What do we do? So we call him again. Keep calling him again. And like, I call my mom at 3 a.m. I'm like, hey, what hotel is Dane staying in? Do you know their room number? We go to the hotel. The guy at the front desk, I'm like, hey, we're trying to find my cousin. He's asleep. He has van keys, and we have to drive Harlequin to the airport at 4 a.m. and it's 3:15. Like, can we find out which room these people are in? Like, definitely not a thing a hotel lobby person should tell you at any time. Like, they can't just tell you who's staying in what room.
Exactly.
So like, here's the best part. So we get a room. We're like, oh, I think it was all booked. Like, there's 2 rooms of like that. My family, like my 2 sets of aunties and uncles, they each booked a room, but they booked them together, so they're under one name. So we're like, okay, it must be this room. We go up. We knock on the door. I'm trying to knock very lightly because I know there's other people asleep in the room, so I'm knocking on the door. I'm like, oh man, I hope I don't wake anyone else up. My auntie answers the door. It's the wrong auntie. It's the wrong room. Back down to the lobby. Oh yeah, by the way, is there another room in that booking? Finally find it. Knock for like 15 minutes. It's like 3:40. Okay, we're in PA. We have to drive all the way back to Park Place and then pick up the band at 4. Finally, my cousin wakes up. He put the keys in his pocket, took them from the safe spot, put them in his pocket, and then fell asleep
In the hotel room.
in the hotel room.
So you had the keys.
And was like, it wasn't gonna wake up. So I was like, we like finally got him up, and he's like, what the funny part is, like, once we realized he had the keys, we called him, and he's like, oh yeah, I have the keys, I just fell asleep, come pick them up for me. We're like, okay, we'll be there in 15 minutes. We show up in 15 minutes at the hotel, and he was like
Out.
not awake. So then that's when we went to the room, the whole room fiasco. Get the keys, drive back out to Park Place to get the van, then drive to the hotel.
And did you make it on time, or were you like shy?
Oh yeah. Okay, so our driver, which was Canna's mom, picks up Harlequin at 4, maybe a couple of minutes late. I text the guys. I'm like, hey, we had a thing. We're gonna be a couple of minutes late. We'll still be all good. She picks him up. She drives him to Saskatoon. Flight gets canceled.
No.
Then, because she's so awesome, Canna's mom's so great, she drives them all the way to Regina to catch a second flight
What?
at a later time, and then drives back.
Wow.
That's insane. I bet you she
Yep.
had fun doing that though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yep.
Did she do
Yeah,
that
so that's-
because she was a fan of Harlequin and she just wanted to spend time with him?
She's just like super great. She just
Oh,
loves
okay.
doing,
Okay.
just loves helping out. She was like, and also like she's just like, this has to get done for this to happen. Like, what are they gonna do? Just call a cab? Well, they could, but anyways.
Right. Well, they were talking about a
So, yeah.
flight early in the morning.
Yeah.
Weren't they going to Edmonton or something?
Edmonton or something? Yeah.
They had another gig somewhere else or something. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So-
they were talking about that. And I feel like we dropped them off at like 1:32 in the morning.
It was late. They didn't have any sleep. They must have had like a couple hours sleep, maybe,
Yep.
if that.
Yep. Yeah. So that's the Harlequin van story.
Wow.
That's kind of funny. So how come?
But it was just like one of those things, like how many things could go wrong at the last minute? Like, the festival's almost done. It's gone so smooth. No fights, no injuries, no cops, no RCMP.
Right.
Minimal noise complaints. Like,
Yeah.
everyone's doing great. Everyone's having a great time. No one's causing a huge ordeal. Oh yeah, by the way, you can't find the van keys in your van is leaving 65 minutes. So that was a nice little like, oh yeah, by the way. So
How did we luck out where we got to drive the van back to the hotel? How did that end up
I think
happening?
what happened was someone else was supposed to, and then they bailed, and then Canna was like, "Hey, Mark, can you drive Harlequin back to their hotel?
No.
Here's some keys."
Hang
And
on.
Mark was like,
Okay, so she walks up to me and, hey, are you having fun? I was like, yeah, this is a great show, yeah. So are you sober? And I was looking at her like, what kind of question is that? She's like, and do you have your driver's license? Yes, I drove here. She goes, good. Do you want to drive Harlequin home? I'm like, what? So yeah, that's when she went and found the keys.
Yeah, that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
"So you got the keys." Full disclaimer: Mark had nothing to do with the keys being lost.
I did not. I gave them back.
I started to worry.
Danger Dane, on the other hand,
Shout out to Danger
no,
Dane.
Danger Dane was like legit. Like, these keys are clearly important, and they're like sitting in a fairly discreet area or a location. I should probably put them in my pocket just in case something happens, because I know that they're the van keys for Harlequin.
Right.
So he put them extra
Great
safe.
thought.
Yeah.
In his pocket.
The intention were very
And
good.
fell asleep on the keys in his pocket so that no one could get them. Yeah,
Which
great time.
he
It
was.
honestly
That's
great.
unfortunate that he wasn't at the same hotel that Harlequin was. That would have been handy.
Or was he? Was that?
It was right across the street. But the thing is, we had to drive all the way back
Right,
out of
to
town
get
to
the
get the
van.
van.
To get the
'cause we have a
van. Oh, I see. Wow.
That's funny.
That's my ground transportation nightmare, and now I never want to provide ground transportation again. No, I'm kidding.
Right.
But you'll
it's just
probably
like
have
one
to.
of those things. It's like, yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, next year, if you need a driver, I mean,
We're gonna be there.
we'll be here.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna have Funky Moose record posters everywhere, though, right? Next year.
Yeah, we didn't quite finalize what we're gonna do, but yeah, we're definitely
We're working
board
on
again.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, as far as I can tell, the festival was a success because you're planning on doing it again, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, talking about like, you're obviously not gonna do everything exactly the same. There's gonna be some things that you're tweaking and doing a little differently. Do you have any kind of ideas like, oh shit, we should do it this way instead for next year? Something like that?
Yeah, we took a lot of feedback from people that had said, "Oh, this was awesome," except for tweak this a little bit. So we're adding more bands on the secondary stage up in the lodge, and we're also going to uh, license that as well.
Like liquor
So, for
license?
example, if you want to go up and see, yeah, up in the lodge. So if you want to go and see a band at 7 p.m. on Friday, like Cold Shot played or whatever, it'll be licensed there as well. Kind of something that we like, like just like an oversight that we missed. That legitimately, like we could have done by just like changing the start time on the form for the liquor license for that area and finding more volunteers. But it was just like, oh, we don't need it. It'll be fine. So yeah, that's going to change. The scheduling is going to change a little bit to get more artists, more stuff going on. We're going to have some more non-performance related stuff. Like we're going to have some other activities as well. More kid stuff. I thought of a crazy idea because, as I mentioned earlier to you, Joel, I've got like 6, 7 drum kits at the house here, including
The one behind
that
you?
one. So I really want to set up like just like half drum kits, just like a kick and a snare and a set of hi hats. Like 10 little drum setups in the forest somewhere, and then have like a free 60-minute drum lesson with like a drummer from one of the bands from the main stage. Free drum lesson. You don't have to
that'd be
play.
sweet.
You can just show up. And then it's like the drummer from Andino Sons or whatever, right? Just like go and sit down, and he shows you how to play the stuff, and it's like a little drum circle.
Yeah.
Not like a 5 a.m. drum circle.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Because I last year you had some kids activities too, and so the festivals that I'm used to back in Holland are not exactly kid friendly. So I wasn't sure what to expect with Chesterfest. So I left my kids home, but maybe for next year I'll bring them. But remind me what the activities were for the kids last year.
We didn't do a whole lot. We had a single kids booth with a few activities. We didn't have loads of stuff. We had a paintable couch, so you could come and paint a couch.
Right, that's what I was. Yeah.
Was there face painting?
We had some face. There was face painting. So we're gonna do a few more things next year.
Okay.
To emphasize that, because that's one area we got to up a little bit too.
You had space for a
Also,
bouncy
like,
castle.
I was like, yeah, there's some liability and insurance hoops
right,
there, but nonetheless, yeah. So I want to up that a little bit because it's important. And like the coolest thing about our festival, I thought, anyways, I'm biased, but is like lots of kids everywhere, and like it's not like the whole entire front of the stage is just beer gardens. It's like you're watching the Dead South, and then you got a bunch of people having a great time, and then like 2 8-year-olds also having a great time.
Yeah.
Right.
In the front row.
Yeah.
On someone's shoulders.
Yeah,
like,
that was good. I told Joel too, like I would totally be okay with my 9-year-old walking around there by herself. I would just let her go and go have fun.
Totally.
Because
and like kids are free.
And because that's the vibe I got from last year. Everybody was just there to have a good time, and there was no trouble. There were no people that I had my eye on to watch out for, kind of thing. It was all good people, I think.
Yeah, everyone's all there for more or less the same reason.
Yeah.
Lots of security, lots of volunteers.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so, and like, yeah, like I want it to be accessible, to people with kids and to kids. Kids are free.
Right.
That gets real expensive if you have to start buying kids tickets. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna buy it, even a $30 or a $40 pass for your 3 little kids, like it's expensive. So make it accessible to kids to actually get to go to a music festival and experience it.
Yeah.
And something close to home, so it's like it's easy to come for a little bit. If you got young kids, bring them for a little bit, whatever kind of thing.
Yeah. For sure.
That was also really important.
Did you say there was something like that in Prince Albert before? I forget what you called it. A few years back.
Borealis?
Yes,
Borealis.
but that was different though.
Yeah, a different setup and a little bit different of a layout.
Right. So then the Chesterfest was kind of like it's like a one of a kind thing in the Prince Albert area, right? Well, actually, more than just PA. Like, there's no other couch festivals.
No, couch
Yeah,
festivals would be
there's like
pretty unique. But you have Ness Creek, which is also a music festival,
Right.
not too far
I've been there
from.
once.
I haven't been at all.
Yeah, that was.
Did you
pretty
play
neat.
at Ness Creek by any chance? Or have you been?
have I've been 2 or 3 times, and I've played 2 times maybe. I played like the Nest Gen Youth Stage
Oh, yeah.
when I was in high school.
So,
A couple of things. I went last year and the year before.
yeah.
How many bands do you play in currently?
Right now 0. No, I'm kidding. Like right now I've just got a few. I've got my own thing, called Roast the Band, and we're doing a full length. And there's got a few like a band members there. But then I also play in like this classic rock party band called the Bush Pies.
Yes,
I feel like I heard that
With
before.
I'm a fan.
JJ the hospitality. It's like loads of fun. It's like JJ the hospitality guy, Kayana, Julie, and then 2 of our other good friends, sometimes more. We kind of have a rotating cast. There's a couple different drummers. Yeah, it's like we just play classic rock covers and
Zach is the drummer that's always shirtless, right?
yeah, Zach's the redhead drummer, and then we've got another drummer in Saskatoon. But for lots of our PA shows, Zach plays.
All right.
Yeah, we're actually doing a live stream Canada Day set on Canada Day,
Nice.
coming up in a little bit, that we're doing through PA Multicultural Council.
Oh,
So we're doing a set for that as well. Yeah, that, and then I used to play with a lot. Like it comes and goes in waves. Played with Roland Corrigal, country singer out of Larange a lot. Yeah, Wade Fair, One Bridgetown, a couple more PA groups. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of toning it back now. This is just like the summer of, relaxing a little bit for me. Or I'm used to like, going from a sound gig somewhere to playing Craven Beer Gardens to doing another sound gig in North Battleford to all over the place. So
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
it seems like a lot of musicians. I don't know if that's just a PA thing, but a lot of musicians are just in multiple bands, and then the band folds, and then they just join another one, and
Well,
that band
is
folds.
it
and-
because you're not like really in the band? You're like either a drummer or you're a guitar player or you're a singer. Is that, and then you kind of just like go around, bounce around?
You're right. You're right, dude. The drummer, not a real band member at all.
Oh, that's the same.
No,
that's the same
no,
as bass
like-
players, right? Bass player is not a real instrument either.
Yeah. That's a third string player right there.
Just kidding.
No,
guys, just
like
kidding.
I don't. There's like, yeah. There's like, I mean, there's. I don't know. Like, I mean, PA is a pretty small circle of musicians, and like lots of the stuff that I do, anyways, is like play with it for a bit, do a couple of gigs, play a thing, do something else.
Mhm.
I used to be in like 6 or 7 actively, but it was like lots.
So how old were you when you started
don't know.
playing?
10 or 12. I don't know. So I've been playing for like 12 years, but I'm not very good. I'm okay, but I'm not as good as you should be for playing for 12 years,
Well,
Right.
you're all right. I mean, I've seen you play a couple times.
okay.
You're all right.
Yeah, hey, third set, Bush Pies, I'm playing the solo to Hit Me With Your Best Shot, and you think you're listening to the friggin' record. Okay? So,
That was you played that at your Chesterfest. What did you call it? The cabaret, couch cabaret.
couch. Oh, that was also a great time.
That was good.
Great time.
Yeah.
Lots of work with the couches, but
Yeah, because that was okay. So explain what the couch cabaret was.
so I want to do so much stuff, and we did lots of shows and lots of events last year, and even this spring or this winter. and fall as well. But we thought it'd be nice to, cap it off and do, like, for example, a lot of people said, oh, I wanted to come to Chesterfest, but I couldn't make it, but I thought it would be really sweet. So we decided to put on an event in September with all the couches, because conveniently we had to move the couches that were stored at the Golf and Curling Club to their new home at Habitat for Humanity. So we had to move them anyways. And so we figured, let's just set up a stage. We have to clean the couches. Let's clean them up, set them up, do a bar, and do a couple of bands, and do an event. So it actually went really well. We sold like 280 tickets or something to that.
Yeah, nice.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that was also a good time. You missed that, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
I don't remember why, but I remember missing.
Great time, and a nice little, a fundraiser for us, like all of our other events. To just trying to keep the wheels turning and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like it's expensive to put on a festival, and it's not a huge money making venture. So
No. So
those kind of things are
without going into details, money wise, like, is it something that you break even on? Are you making a little bit of money, or just going in the hole and hope for the best next year?
off the top. We put a lot of cash in off the pocket, like off the start, like just to get it rolling. I put a lot of cash, out of pocket. We all did kind of to get it rolling. But like I'm happy to say that by the time we did the Battle of the Bands with Bombargo, which was like a super killer night, we were like decently in the plus by then. So all in all, like it kind of all balances out throughout the whole year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good. That means it's healthy.
Yeah.
And you can do it again.
Yeah, it's going anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Good.
I feel like next year it's gonna just be huge because of the delay and it not happening this year, and then
Yeah, people anticipating for this year, and now we can't do it. So
Everyone's gonna
next
be
year I'll
stoked.
definitely go.
yeah.
That's another interesting, because there's a whole there's a couple trains of thought like on that note about post-pandemic parties or post-pandemic post-pan parties.
Like if there's social distancing or something.
Well, yeah, I think it's going to take a while for things to get back in, but like, do people want to go out and go to festivals after?
I think they're itching to go
Maybe.
back out.
I think a lot of people are. I think a lot of people are also on that, on that counter that point. Like a lot of people are like, I don't know. Like I think there's a little bit of both. So it'd be interesting to see how that plays out. Also with the vaccine, like a lot of people, I know they did a survey in Canada about people wanting to go back and see shows and go to entertainment. A lot of people just want to wait till there's a vaccine, which is fair.
Yeah.
Right.
Which shouldn't take too long, I think. I think before the end of the year we have a vaccine, I'm thinking.
When you drive through PA right now, and it seems like there's more people out now than there was before COVID hit.
Yeah.
So they're itching to get out.
It seems like, they heard something about, we flattened the curve. That means, yes, we can go back outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. Like, I really hope we get to do some more events in the spring, and maybe the fall. But I'm not holding my breath on it just to see.
Yeah.
We should do a fundraiser out in Bellevue here, at the sports ground.
To get Chesterfest going.
That
Yeah.
sounds like.
Get some bands
Well,
out here to rock it out and
Actually,
put some money towards Chesterfest.
about that, Joel and I were talking about that because June 1st, so this past June 1st, marked the 5-year anniversary of Funky Moose Records.
Right.
So the idea was to do a small music festival. Joel was supposed to be involved too, with a few other bands. But now we're here and nothing happened. So it was kind of a quiet day on June 1st. But we should definitely do something like that when everything is allowed to be back open again. People are getting settled in and comfortable again, and we'll...
Any money can go to Chesterfest.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm all for putting on stuff and doing stuff. I love it. So.
And get money.
Yeah, that's good too.
But that's not why you're doing it.
No, it's for the people. I know that sounds pretty
Tacky.
Yeah, but like it's well,
But it's honest.
like, actually,
I totally
like,
get it.
actually though, like,
I'm just bugging you, man.
it's not for me. Like I love doing it, but it's just like we need it. Like you're telling me we have a city of like 35,000 with surrounding area, even more, and we don't have like a
Yeah.
festival.
Yeah. Yeah, because how far
Yeah.
away is Ness Creek from PA? That's a long drive.
Hour and a
man.
half.
Yeah.
I feel like it's longer
I mean,
than
there's
that.
lots of stuff in Saskatoon, but like, we deserve one.
For sure.
PA deserves the
I
festival.
agree 100%.
I would even go farther than that, and PA needs more music in general, like live shows and
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's all about. I mean, it's not just about like PA needs a festival and it's Chesterfest. It's like PA needs all year right. PA needs more stuff, and it's not about a competition. It's not about this versus this or
No.
whatever. It's
no, because I mean, if you, let's say we want to organize a festival in PA, we don't have to, we don't have to book the same bands. We don't have to copy the couch thing. I mean, we could do another festival, be another festival.
Hey, you could try, but your back's gonna hurt real fast.
Yeah, it hurts enough already. I'm old. I don't need to haul couches. Right on. Is there anything you want to add to this,
Or plug?
or do you have something?
Not.
No.
Yeah, a huge shout out. Great Western is the official beer at Chesterfest. Huge shout out to them, along with all of our other sponsors that came on board this year. Canadian Tire, Funky Moose, Lake Country Co-op.
Right on.
Yeah, and all the rest. Thanks to everyone that came on board to sponsor, and we hope to see everyone next year. Yeah.
I don't suppose you have a
That's
date
about all.
planned for next year already, hey? Or it's kind of up in the air?
No, we actually did. I think we announced it. I've been out of festival mode for a really long time.
I think I saw. I think I saw
Sorry,
a date
no.
on Facebook, and it's early July again.
Yeah.
I think, right?
Yeah, it's we moved back a weekend just because we wanted to add a day. You might so we moved back to July 8th to 10th, so it's 3 days. It's going to start with a pre-party on Thursday, July 8th. And I know you're thinking like Thursday, that's insane, but believes you me, Thursday is the new Friday.
Nice.
I'm gonna take Friday off.
Yeah. So we're gonna do a pre-party. Yeah, and we're gonna do just a lodge thing. We're not gonna do a full main stage, but we're gonna do a little pre-party on the Thursday. Sorry, and then we'll do like the full thing on Friday, Saturday, same as last year.
Cool.
Sweet. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. On
Yeah.
that note, I think we both want to thank you for joining us.
Yeah, you come back anytime, Joel. You are always welcome on this platform to
Yes.
put out
You
any
betcha.
plugs that you need to.
And especially before Chesterfest is happening next year, I think we'll have you back and we'll talk about what the plans are exactly. And everybody at home, like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Download the podcast on your favorite podcast app, and we will see you next time.